Hello guys. Hello everybody. Hello guys, how are you? What are you doing over the weekend? Hey, Backpacksters are here. Okay. Just a second. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, Abhinav.
Hey, Shishira and Navneet. How are you guys?
Hi. Sorry?
How are you guys? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
You guys can hear me too.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
We are fine. Slow Saturday.
Yeah. How was the weekend treating you? Okay, yeah, man. Bangalore, amazing weather. I'm in Mumbai here, and it's very hot. I'm like sweating sitting here.
Has it been raining there too? In Bangalore, we've had a lot of nice rain today.
Oh, no. Sadly, no rains here. I mean, I won't say sadly also. If it starts raining, it doesn't stop. So, so that's also there. So let's wait for a few more people to join. In meanwhile, just to tell the viewers about NARR8. NARR8 is 30 to 40 minute Insta Live sessions by Monks and Wheels, where a lot of passionate individuals, entrepreneurs, travel bloggers come with us, join here and tell their story, share us their story, and also they have had a lot of experiences. So they share their experiences to us through this platform. Okay, and today we have, for the first time actually in NARR8, we have a couple traveler, and that is Shishira and Navneet. So these guys have traveled to almost 20 countries and so many different places in India as well. And their mantra has been budget travel. So I think this is something that will be very interesting for the viewers today, because I'm pretty sure many of our viewers are very young, just coming out of colleges. So they want to know what is budget travel, how can they make the most of their resources or the pocket monies that they have. And I think maths and calculations comes naturally to both of these guys because they are chartered accountants. So that is again one thing. So without further ado, I will give it to you guys. So how is it going? So you guys have been traveling so much throughout the year, and now since there is Corona, you guys can't travel. So how does it feel? Hello.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
Can you just repeat the last question? I think we had a network.
Sure. So you guys are used to traveling so much around the year, and suddenly from the last 2-3 months you are grounded at home. So how does that feel?
I think this has been a little tough. Actually, we stay in a different part of Bangalore, but because of some health issues, we ended up coming to our parents' home, which is further up north in Bangalore only. But that's the most travel we have done this entire month. Apart from the usual traveling from the room to the kitchen 4 or 5 times a day and things like that. But it's definitely been tough. We've had our withdrawal symptoms showing every now and then.
Yeah.
You guys can hear, right?
Yes. Okay. We can hear.
Yeah, we've had some withdrawal symptoms. So how we are mostly dealing with that is storytelling.
Yeah.
So
every day I pick up a country and I narrate our experience to Navneet before his time. So it's like his bedtime stories.
So it's actually like
that's
one
nice.
way of checking if Shishira remembers all of our trips.
Wow, man.
Because that's a lot of money that's been spent.
Great. Yes. And so many memories, so many experiences, right? So that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
So,
have you been?
So right now, actually, I'm having a transition from one job to the other, and I actually was supposed to relocate to Bangalore, and my joining was there on April 20th, but that has been postponed now. So I'm like stranded here, doing nothing much but living on Netflix, Amazon Prime, and maybe trying my hand at cooking sometimes. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We are definitely curious to see that.
Yes, of course. So, we want to know more about your story. So now you guys have been, traveling together. So when did this journey begin? So was it before marriage when you guys were studying? Did you study together? So how did you guys meet and how did this journey begin?
So I think I'll take this one.
Okay.
It's been about 10 years, a little over 10 years.
Almost
almost 11 years now since we've known each other, and that goes back to 11th grade. So we just came out of school, went into pre-university college, and from then we've been very good friends, became best friends, then got married, because somewhere in between calling it friendship was a lie. But I think we are both from very conservative middle class families. They've never let us travel alone, or of course definitely not with each other. But after we got married, our honeymoon was in fact the first trip together, and it was to Mauritius. That's where Shishira found out about my excessive wanderlust characteristic, and until then everything for her, it didn't really matter.
I never thought about traveling and all till then.
Okay. Mauritius is an amazing place. Yes.
But you know how that draws you, right? Once you do it, it tends to get addictive, because you have a sudden sense of freedom and
adventure.
And like, how did this, come to you, where you started sharing these experiences, writing blogs? So, how did that start? How did that begin?
Okay, so that happened a little later, in about a year from then. After Mauritius, we did a trial backpacking run to Goa. So we spent about 4 days there. We've taken the local bus there from the airport to the hotel, got a two-wheeler, just like what most people do. But I think that was the real sense of freedom we got, because Mauritius was a package tour. We didn't plan much. Here it was all on us. And that sort of became the base. And then a few months later,
we went to Andaman. Yeah. So there we faced a kind of an issue with the ferry. So the ferry which was supposed to take us between the islands, they suddenly had to return back halfway from where they had started. So then since we had not booked anything through a package, it was all through us. So this ferry cancellation would mean our next bookings, everything would get affected.
In fact, like we were going from Port Blair to Havelock, and this ferry stopped midway and returned to Port Blair. Our bookings were all in sequence in Havelock. Yeah, and there was nothing else left in Port Blair for us to book.
So we were literally
it was very, very bad.
Yeah.
But then we actually ended up like fighting, arguing a lot with the management of the boating company. And somehow it worked. 4 hours later, they were convinced that we need help. They put us up in a very nice place. And
better than the one which we had booked also.
Oh, nice. Okay, not bad.
And then
the fight was worthwhile.
Yeah, definitely. And early next morning, they managed to take us on a different ferry, and they made sure we got there. So the only thing we missed was one night's time. But that incident, that incident was the one that sort of made the difference for us. We ended up realizing not a lot of people know what to do in these situations, just like us. We were clueless.
True.
And we thought we'll share these incidents as we go.
Yeah.
And that's how we decided to start blogging.
Okay, that's great. Okay. So also this concept of budget travel, right? To make the most out of the resources. How did this come to mind? I mean, it also comes naturally, but not a lot of people preach this. Everyone wants to do, budget travel, but many people don't do it. So what's your definition also of budget travel? So is that, it doesn't mean staying in hostels, or does it mean staying in resorts, but getting the best deal out of it? Is that budget travel? So what is it for you guys?
That's a very good question. I think, I'm sorry, I'll just take this. Because the reason why we call ourselves Backpacksters, if you notice, it's a play on the word backpacking. And then there's something else that does to it. That's basically to say that we don't completely backpack. There is a deviation from that. We like to keep things a little more easier. So for us, hostels are one side of the story, but that's not every time we travel. We found it to be a lot more easier when we stay in private rooms than hotels. We don't do P&Bs. We can probably talk about why later, but we just do regular hotels. Of course, price bands always change. It depends on which place we are. If we are spending multiple nights at the same place, we probably want something better. If it's just the night, we'd rather sightsee.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how we go about budgeting for our stay and things like that.
We try to maximize our experience with the minimum cost.
Wow. That's really amazing. Okay, so now that you guys have told us the definition and what it means to you guys, can you just tell us one or maybe two memorable experiences? I think we had spoken about Sri Lanka, then there is Russia and Australia, so many places that you've been to. Maybe a couple of experiences that you guys, how did you start researching about the place and how did you go through the complete place, the whole experience? Maybe you can just give us a walkthrough on that.
Sure. Which country do you want to? Russia. So Shishira does the starting of the groundwork, so she'll probably start with
So usually what we do is we do not stick to a country to which we travel to. Like we do not have a bucket. The bucket list is there, but when we have a time, we look for the cheapest flight to any destination. So that's how we end up finding new destinations and new places to explore.
Okay, so you don't decide a destination first. It's like you go on the Make My Trip, get the best deal maybe, and then you decide the destination. That's how you start off.
Yeah, sort of like we have a list of places, but like you said, it's just whatever works at that time of the year.
Okay.
That's how we prioritize.
Nice.
That's how I think we found the good flight deal for Russia. So can you guess how much it might cost you to go to the Arctic Circle and come back? Just take a guess for the flight price.
Okay. So going and coming back for $1 lakh? I don't know. It's 1 lakh?
That sounds really scary, by the way. So if we put the cost together, because we had to break the flight, we've spent about, from Delhi this is, not from Bangalore, because we were there from there. But we've spent only about 31,000 per person.
Wow. That's it. My goodness. Okay, that's great.
The thing is, if you know it right, any place, and Russia can be fairly expensive otherwise, but certain times of the year, certain routes, certain cities, they're very affordable to get to, and this happened to be one of those situations. So just to give you some more perspective on that, this particular place we flew to in Russia, it's the northernmost city in the world. It's called Murmansk. From there, you can actually see the northern lights any time of the winter season, and it's less than 1/3 of the cost that it normally is in the Nordics.
Wow! So, and this many people don't know about this. Why is that?
So I don't know. Even we did not know that, right?
Okay.
So I think like Murmansk, by the way, has only about 3 lakh people living there.
A very small town.
Yeah, people actually move out from there to other cities, so they're losing population.
Nice.
But it's an amazing place for tourists to visit. Yeah.
Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So, and one more thing about it fell down. So, one more thing about Russia is people are a little scary about how safe is the country. So, I just wanted to know that as well. Like, what did you guys feel about Russia when you went there? So, was it very safe, or did you guys have any experience?
We had one terrible one, nearly terrible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Shishira and I, we were just walking down the street in St. Petersburg.
We were looking for a good restaurant to have dinner. We were really tired and we were craving for Indian food. So I was going around searching for an Indian hotel to have a proper meal because it had been a week by then. So I was in a hurry and I was going in front and Namit was behind me, a few steps behind me. And kept to stand in front of the restaurant with a menu card. So I was just going to that. And you tell me.
Suddenly after that, Shishira is in front of me, I'm behind. I'm wearing a backpack, so that has my camera bag and everything. Someone slowly starts unzipping the backpack. And I can feel it because it's not a very big one. It's a small backpack, so any vibration you easily tend to feel it on your shoulders.
And there's another guy in front of me trying to distract me, telling you come in, you get tasty food. And I'm really believing him and thinking of going into the restaurant.
By the way, neither of them is Indian, and usually Indian restaurants abroad, they sometimes have Indian people like standing outside, for the whole authenticity thing. But neither of these guys, and they were not even speaking English. So somehow we got this doubt, and then at that time, because I felt it, I turned behind, and there's this guy with good glasses and a hoodie, and he's very big, like any other Russian is. And then suddenly he's acting completely aloof. He's
pretending to be blind. He's like this.
He's doing this. And that's when I genuinely thought maybe he's blind. And then I moved aside.
And then he fell on the stand also.
Yeah, he purposely went on the menu card that was outside and he hit that. And then after that, I don't know, I felt there's something definitely wrong. If he's blind, he wouldn't be unzipping so beautifully, like that. It would be more messy, right? So then I asked him why he touched my bag. And then he said, no, zip was open. Now suddenly he can see. And that's when we realized that it was like a group activity that they're doing, how they attack travelers, especially when they see completely foreign people. They are brown-skinned people and white-skinned land, so definitely it was easy for them to pick us as targets. And they saw us in front of Indian restaurants. They thought we are naive and new. I don't know, but the moment that happened, I think we immediately got on Instagram and shared our experience with our friends and readers here, just to say that this is how a lot of people operate. We've heard stories about this happening in other European countries as well. So what we learned is to make sure everything is zipped up, right? And money is far from a quick reach.
And after that, we started splitting the money between us and saving it and keeping it in different places.
This is some good tip, man, actually. That's actually good. Okay. So, coming back to budget travel, and I think you guys also were talking about Sri Lanka, right? You guys took a huge group, and that was nearly New Year's. So, how did you pull that off?
So, we've been there once before in May 2018, and when we went there back then, I think the whole currency fluctuation was to our advantage. Like we mentioned before, since we are CAs, we tend to observe these trends often at work and stuff like that. So we're a little familiar. At that time, because of the whole fluctuations situation, we were able to get a lot more value for the money we were ready to spend. And back then, we've undercut really well. We were able to spend somewhere between 25-30K per person. But it was a very, very low budget trip. So that was including flights from Bangalore. So all inclusive. But when we did the group trip in December this 2019, it was definitely a lot more challenging. We wanted to make the best value come out of it without spending much more. We still managed to get everyone to come with about 40K, including flights, international flights.
Wow.
And that was for 7 to 8 days.
8 days, That's almost twice as long as what we
had spent.
So super. If I just do basic math, this was much better in value than what we did back then.
I think even if we are traveling to Goa for the New Year's, it's going to be costlier than that.
That's true. So we, just to give one or two tips how we ended up doing that, I think hotels it definitely made a big difference. I think a lot of we ourselves in the beginning, we would just go on to Indian portals and look up a hotel for a foreign country and then start booking. But then, at some point we realized that there are enough international websites that offer very good value for money loyalty programs.
Okay.
So we stuck with .com. So Shisha has got a Genius membership which anyone can get. It renews every year on its own. There's nothing to pay.
Okay.
It's about how frequently you book with them. And I think that's where maybe you can tell, you booked all the hotels. How did you score a good deal?
Yeah, there's another trick where, if you book on your desktop, the stay prices are different from what you would get as price on your mobile. So this
on the mobile
very recently.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Mobile prices are much lower than desktop ones.
Yeah, but there are some days when you get desktop only deals, which are also called secret deals. So when you search, it sometimes helps to see both at the same time. You might get one hotel at an absurdly low price, same one priced much more on the mobile, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a good tip again. Okay, nice. So one thing we wanted to ask is, maybe for the viewers, this might be really helpful, where you guys can just tell us what are the maybe 2 to 3 apps or websites that like the go-to websites whenever you start off booking or start planning any trip. Maybe 3 to 4 websites which you surely go to.
Yeah.
So the first one, with regards to flight, we usually go with Skyscanner
or Kayak.
Okay.
And Google Flights.
Okay.
Google Flights as well. So we search in all the 3 and we choose the best deals we get amongst these 3.
And then it helps to also check directly on the airline site, because sometimes they have deals that are not visible to these kind of portals. Like for example, Vietnam, in early this year, I think it was in Jan, when we saw this deal, it was about 2,500 rupees for a
Vietjet
flight.
Right? Yes.
So we've used Vietjet in Vietnam when we were there, and it's a very good airline. It's a budget airline, low cost, but it's really nice. So it definitely looks good. But if you look it up on, let's say, Skyscanner, you wouldn't have found it straight up, because I don't know, some of these promos, like even Jetstar for that matter, operates in Southeast. And I think the flight we took from Moscow to Murmansk in Russia, that was a good deal. So it helps to look them up on these sites. Once you get an idea of which site and which airline or which route works out, then it helps to do that one extra research. And then there's something about dates which might really help most of the viewers here. So studies have shown that 54 days or earlier is a very good time to book. So generally what happens is there's a supply and demand curve that airlines take advantage of to price the flights, and it's dynamic all the time. But around that day, we have noticed it's come down and before it starts to shoot up.
Okay.
So that's one.
Okay.
Another date you can see is 3 months before. That's also pretty. Yeah. These have always helped us in finding cheap flights.
That's great.
What do we use? We use Booking.com. We always rely on.
Okay.
And Google.
Is there anything for anything to research, like Lonely Planet or any place to research a particular country or something? Is there anything?
I don't use Lonely Planet so much, just basic Googling whatever comes up.
Because the results that come up from blog posts these days
are more informative.
Very good. Yeah. They're first-hand.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So coming to tips for the viewers, maybe you guys can give us from your experience, like maybe in a structure, like what are 5 tips that you give for your viewers that for having making the best out of budget travel. So what would that be?
I think one of them we've given away. That's one of our best ones. That's the flight booking thing.
Yes.
Then Shisha has made a list here, so she's got a
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for the hotels international.
Yeah, so when it comes to stay, it usually helps if you come back and write a review on that portal. Sometimes they give you cashbacks or sometimes they give you coupons, which you can use for your next trip. that has helped us many times.
Nice. Okay.
And then another most expensive thing while traveling is your food expense.
Yes.
First comes the flight, then stay
The
and
flight, stay, food. Yes.
food.
Yes.
Yeah. So food, we usually don't go to fancy restaurants and all. We
Okay.
pick and go to local restaurants where the locals
Okay.
go. So it ensures that the prices are affordable and the taste is authentic and local, because the locals themselves are going.
On a lighter note, if you can't read the menu, that's a great place to go.
Yeah. You should not understand the menu.
Yes.
So that's where Google Translate comes in handy.
Yeah.
Actually, we've read so many menus using that. It's been a lifesaver because we're strictly vegetarian, so it's definitely challenging.
Yes.
And
it
also
should be, right?
so another expense which you will face is the sightseeing cost.
Yeah, that's the most.
So usually the day trips will cost a lot when you go. So
True.
what we do is something, if you're not very particular about that day trip, we go there and then book a trip from a local agent there.
Okay.
So they're always
nice.
much cheaper than what you would pay online or beforehand.
Maybe one example we can give is Vietnam. Halong Bay. Halong Bay is a very, very beautiful place. It's a region in the South Sea wherein there are about 2,000 limestone islands all scattered around in the ocean. And many of these have nice beaches, and the water is all limestone green because of the mineral resources in the islands. But just to give you that perspective, we booked ahead on a international platform called Viator. And we ended up spending about 25,000 for one night. On board that ship. But when we actually got to Hanoi, from where these trips begin,
it was around
it was hardly around $70. But of course, there's a difference in luxury level. Depends what kind of traveler you want. If you want to pick something cheaper just for the experience, or you want to have a luxurious thing. So we wouldn't have minded getting a better deal for something a little more simpler. But that's the kind of difference it makes. You don't easily find these kind of deals online from here.
And also another thing which helps is most of the countries have these daily passes for tourist attractions itself. Pick the 1-day pass or a 3-day pass.
Yeah,
so that also helps. It helped a lot in Singapore and in Russia also. Russia was saver for us.
We've easily saved about 22,000, 23,000 rupees just by getting that pass, because we went to all the attractions, like all the museums. We went 18 floors underground to the nuclear bunker from the Cold War era. And one ticket that cost 5,000 rupees, and it's like a 40-minute tour. But that was basically included in the pass, which did not cost $7,000.
Great. Okay. This passes for the entire country. I mean, Russia, or was that to the northern place that you went to? So, how was that pass? Hello.
Sorry, I think we missed the last thing you mentioned.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you the pass that you were talking about. So is this for the whole of the country, Russia, or was it for the northern place that you guys went to?
No, these passes were for a particular city, like Moscow pass, St. Petersburg pass. So we took a 3-day pass for Moscow and a 3-day pass for St. Petersburg.
Nice.
They also have for 1 day.
In Egypt, you get like in places like Luxor, or you get it for
Egypt. You have either the city or the multi-city ones also.
But Singapore is like a multi-attraction pass that works almost on all major attractions. Like we used it for Universal Studios, Sentosa Island, the bird parks, the zoo, etc. Like it worked everywhere. And there's a hop-on hop-off bus service.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so it's something similar to Paris. I had been there last year, where the whole transport is included. That is metro and going through canals, and 1 day hop-on hop-off. And there are around 90 attractions which are included, except Eiffel Tower. Except Eiffel Tower, literally everything is included. So it was like that. So yeah, it was something similar to the Singapore one. Okay. So so after this, one thing I wanted to ask you is, you guys work, you guys also travel, and when you are traveling also, you have this onus of writing blogs and working, right? So how do you balance this work and enjoyment, like together, enjoying at the same time, okay, this is something that needs to go back to my blog, so I need to retain it, or I need to write it down somewhere. So how do you do that?
Tell them about your notebook.
Yes, what?
The small notebook.
Yeah, so wherever we go, I carry the small notepad where I'm constantly writing down all the costs which we are incurred, all the important tips or points which has to go on the blog. So I don't keep writing it, but at the end of the day, somehow I find 5-10 minutes and just jot it down. So, and then after we come back, we start working on the blog. We have a calendar for ourselves where we have specified timings or the days that we have to work on the blog, days that we have to work on the photographs, or where we have to post on Instagram. So we have scheduled.
The reason that came, actually it wasn't there for too long, but for a few months now, or for the last 1.5, 2 years, work has become so hectic that there have been days when either she or I spend almost 12-13 hours also at work or travel. Blah, blah, blah. So it's a little challenging. So when you schedule time for it, it helps a little bit. So weekends, thankfully, we've been able to spend more time on the blog. So it definitely needs attention, like maybe 20 to 40 hours, depending on how you want to do it. So recently, we redid our blog. We overhauled it from a text-heavy blog to write. Now we've brought in more pictures. And I don't know if you had a chance to see today, but basically there's a lot of collages, a lot of...
Okay. I think, but there are a lot of collages. After that, I missed you for a second. Did you say anything in that time?
Yeah, so there are a lot of collages, a lot of pictures, and we just started working on some videos as well. So hopefully that entertains our readers more. Yeah.
And now we have started writing.
How much work are you guys going to do?
And story.
Okay. So are you planning to hire a videographer, or are you also planning to learn that yourself?
We now do everything ourselves. We are learning from...
We know zero coding, but somehow we've been able to build a website. So I guess if you have the interest, anyone can do just about anything.
Yes, true. Okay, so now that you guys have given us so many tips, we have a fun rapid fire round right now, and after that we will go to the audience questions. So for the audience, please do put in your questions in the comment section. So after the rapid fire round, we'll be taking your questions, and you can ask them any questions regarding budget travel, or you can see also couple travel. So a lot of suggestions, a lot of advice that can come through them. Okay, so for the rapid fire round, I think both of you can answer the question. For the same question, I want both of you to give your answers. Okay, it's just a fun one, and there's no winner. I think both of you are winners. So let's start off the questions. Okay.
Thank you for saying that. She gets really competitive.
You're just generous.
Okay, so first question is your favorite cuisine. You guys have been to so many countries. What has been your favorite cuisine?
Rapid fire.
I like everything except Mexican.
Okay.
Mexican, I haven't been to Mexico, but every place we've been to, I somehow managed to find a Mexican.
Okay.
On this road called Pub Street. Really good.
Okay. So the next question, Titanic pose on top of the mountain or on a ship? Hello? We lost you for a moment.
Mountain.
Mountain, okay.
Yeah, mountain.
Okay. Both of you mountain. Okay, that's a nice one.
Mountain.
So, okay. So first thing that comes to your mind to your mind when you listen to these country names? Okay. First one, Russia.
Mount.
Okay. So the first word that comes to your mind when you listen to these country names? Russia.
Arctic.
Yeah.
Cold. Okay. France.
Eiffel Tower.
Okay. And,
very nice.
Okay. And Austria.
I think very like quiet, quaint place.
Okay. Okay. So the next question, the country that is at the top of your bucket list. It might be different for both of you. It might be the same. So anything.
I'm very
one country
curious
that
about
you guys want to
South
visit.
America.
South America. Okay.
Mm.
And you?
For me, I think Canada.
Canada. Okay, that's nice. Okay. Next question: 3 travel essentials that you're sure to carry it everywhere.
Just one
that
second.
you go.
We'll just reset. Hey, sorry. I think we may have paused the thing. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yes. I'm able to hear you guys. Yeah.
Hey,
So, okay, now it's paused. Okay, it's coming now. Fine.
okay.
Yeah. So 3 travel essentials that you guys carry with you everywhere. So what are those? 3 travel essentials or 3 things that you will surely carry with yourselves.
Notepad.
I think
A
Shishira
pen.
will say the book. Yeah. Okay.
Notepad. My lip balm. And cash.
Okay. Okay.
I think
And then-
US dollars so far have been helpful. Phone. We need one for sure.
Phone, yeah.
Maps
Yes.
and all cap. Third thing is the tripod, which I don't know. I have to carry it everywhere. We somehow don't have to get as much. We should.
Okay. So the final question: skydiving or scuba diving? So what do you guys prefer?
Scuba diving.
I think sky. I've not done either.
Okay.
Scared of water.
Nice.
I'm scared of
Okay,
heights.
Okay. So this comes, with this we come to an end of the fun rapid fire round. Okay. So, and both of you have won. So yay.
Yay.
Okay. So now we'll go to the audience. Let's take the audience questions. I'll just okay. So Love Priya asks, I'm curious to know when is the next trip and where?
We haven't planned our next trip yet. So
Okay.
maybe somewhere close by to Bangalore, maybe a weekend trip in South India itself.
Once things settle down, I think it'll be India for a while.
Yeah.
Like for most of us, I'm sure.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So in a year, how many places you travel? It might be within India or any other country. So do you guys have a schedule like that, since you guys are so structured and have everything on calendar? Maybe this. Do you guys have this on calendar as well?
Unfortunately for this, no. But
Okay.
maybe I can give a general count.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
try to do one international trip in each quarter. And weekend trips whenever it's possible for us. Whenever we get a long
Okay.
weekend, public holiday in between, we try that.
Like this
Okay.
year, before the lockdown began, we could do three local trips. Yeah, but we were starting to increase the frequency of those
But
weekend trips. But
Okay. Okay. That's nice. And Govind asks, how many days in advance do you guys plan a trip?
maybe
3.5 months.
3.5 months.
Okay.
Sometimes when we are just about to leave for the next place, we would have started planning
Yeah.
for the next one.
Oh my God. Okay.
that can actually help us save a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yeah. So did you guys have any plans in this month that you had planned before and made the booking, but you were not able to go?
We had planned to go somewhere in the last week of March, but we
Okay.
were still hesitant and we had not booked our flights.
It was most likely Turkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were waiting for the flight prices to come down. By that time, coronavirus came, so we didn't.
Okay.
So we had another one planned for the May first week, the next week.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to cancel it.
Yeah, thankfully we had not booked flights there either. But this was going to be another small group trip with a few of our friends. It's
better to cancel.
Yeah.
Okay. So one more question by Usha. How much amount do you keep for traveling in your budget every year? 4 lakhs.
About 4.
Okay.
4 to 4.5. That's what we've
For
noticed.
both of us.
Yeah, for both together.
Okay.
We haven't saved that much too.
Okay. So next, let me just scroll up. I think that's it on top. Yeah. No other question on top. Okay, this. How do you guys start off planning a trip? I think Rohit has asked. I think this is something you guys did reply through the section. That is, how do you guys start off planning the travel? Do you guys want to answer that? How do you guys start off planning the travel? I think Rohit. Yeah.
There's that sequence. Flights come first, then come sightseeing, because of which we'll book stay. So once you know which cities and in what order, I think stay comes next. And then last is internal transport between those places.
Okay. Oh, cool. So I think these were the questions. Usha, again, Usha has one more question. So can you tell us once again the cheaper flights to save money?
So like I said before, I think the best way to do it is to look it up on Google Flights, Kayak, Skyscanner, these kind of sites, which have all of this information for any date that you want. And then again, compare that with what you get directly on the airline's website. And again, be flexible. Sometimes you might find a better deal flying from a city that's close to your city. Maybe you can just take an overnight bus to that place and then fly out or something like that. I think that has helped us a lot in the recent past. Like Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta. These are all good hubs to consider.
Okay. So I think one more point I think you guys have spoken about is studies show that it's 54 days before if you guys plan or look at the flights. So that will be helpful. And on booking.com, sometimes desktop only deals will be there, which will be a great deal. I think this will answer Usha's question. So I think that is all for the questions from the audience for now. So and one thing that I wanted to ask you guys is Monks on Wheels is making like a small collage of different people. So just wanted to know if you both would be interested to just be a part of that, where we have a placard. We'll send you the message, and you have to stand in front of the camera with holding one of the words of the whole message. So would you be interested to do that?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Okay, so before going, Govind has a question. Travel within the country, do you guys suggest to book in advance or after reaching? So when you're traveling within the country, so how is it? So
I think internationally it's a little tough to take that chance because within those countries, it's definitely easy to book any time. But it depends on your visa. Sometimes you have to declare ahead. But in India, we've tried both. We've booked in the last second before entering the hotel. We've booked after entering the hotel. We booked 3 months in advance also. Not much of a difference because you get good deals just about any time if you look for it right.
True. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for such a beautiful conversation. So many different tips, so many different recommendations that you guys gave. That will be invaluable for our viewers as well as for us. So thank you for being there, and lots of love from Monks and Wheels. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.